What can Beyond Meat do to improve their mobile SEO? Check this out. I want to share with you something I noticed. So I am on a mobile simulator on my desktop. I've tried this on my mobile itself and you get the same results. In this case, I'm just using a mobile simulator to film this. You type a keyword. In this case, I've searched for Beyond Meat. Scroll down to the organic results, click on it. You enter the site, and after clicking on the cookie consent, you're met with this mobile interstitial. This is a problem. It's also on their desktop, by the way. It covers the entire screen. Let me take you through it. So, what is the issue? Beyond Meat essentially have an interstitial that's considered an intrusive interstitial. It's intrusive to the user's journey throughout the site. In fact, their search journey from organic, in this case Google organic, to the website. As you just saw, if someone searches on Google for any keyword relating to the brand and enter the site, they're met immediately with this after the cookie consent. This is considered an issue for Google. Now, why is this an issue? Google, in their infinite wisdom, have said this. They said this quite some time ago. Pages that show intrusive interstitials provide a poorer experience to users. Now, this comes directly from their guidelines, their website. Why is this an issue, you may be wondering? Let's take it back to Google's mission statement. Their mission is to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. They serve users. Any and everyone who uses Google is someone that Google services. They service users by providing websites to the queries searched. Now, because they want to service users as best as they can, fulfilling this mission statement, they always attempt to influence websites to also service users, i.e. ensure that the website experience is great for users when they enter via organic search. They've said this. They said this quite a while ago. In 2016, they said after January the 10th, 2017, pages where content is not easily accessible to a user on the transition from the mobile search results may not rank as highly. This essentially is what an intrusive interstitial comes down to, the rankability of a site or the page that is ranking. The page may not rank highly if it has an intrusive interstitial, because Google doesn't want to serve their users with pages that have this intrusive interstitial. Now, what is considered an intrusive interstitial? Google has provided 3 examples. The first is a pop-up, and the second and third are intrusive interstitials that are standalone. Now, whether the content is above or below the fold, it doesn't matter. As long as the interstitial covers the entire page, as a standalone interstitial, it's considered intrusive. And again, it's only considered intrusive if the user lands on the page coming directly from search. So, for example, if they search for a keyword on Google, land on a page, browse the page, enter a second page, and they have an interstitial that comes up, that is not considered intrusive. It's only when they land on a page directly from search. So these are the 3 types of interstitials that are considered intrusive. Are there any exceptions? Yes, there are. 3, in fact. An interstitial that has a cookie usage due to any law requirements is not considered intrusive. One where age verification is essential to enter or use the site or page is not considered intrusive. And one where you have a reasonable amount of space between the content on the screen and the interstitial is also not considered intrusive. Now, I'll get onto what reasonable space means shortly, but these are the three exceptions for using an interstitial on one site. I'll get onto what reasonable space means shortly, but these are the three exceptions for using an interstitial on one site. Beyond Meat interstitial is not considered an exemptional one. Why? It's essentially an ad. In this case, to join their mailing list, which is fine. However, this isn't something a user would want to see when they enter the site directly from search. They want to find the answer to what they're seeking, i.e., they want the content immediately rather than an ad. This is essentially a risk to their organic search visibility. It may impact their rankings. It's not something that will definitely impact the rankings, but it does put the site's ranking ability at risk. Now, how do they fix? This is where Google's guidelines hasn't been very specific. Their recommendation is essentially a guideline, not a law, not a rule, just a guideline. Here's what they've said. Instead of full page interstitials, use banners that take up only a small fraction of the screen to grab your user's attention. The keywords here are small fractions. They haven't provided a specific size for interstitials or indeed banners. What marketers have taken from this recommendation is to have an interstitial or a banner. Most tend to go with banners, where less than half of the screen is used for an interstitial or a banner. Most, again, tend to use banners. I have a couple of examples I want to share with you. The first is from Bravissimo, where towards the bottom of the screen you have a sign up to their email using just a small fraction of the entire space. We have LG, who do a similar thing, but theirs is at the top of the screen, their banner. Again, most tend to use banners rather than interstitials these days. Moonpig actually have a call to their ads at the top of the screen. Again, just using a fraction of the screen space, and you can see the content clearly without your experience on the page being interrupted. My voucher codes have an offer, again, another ad towards the bottom of the screen. It's a very small usage of the screen size. And Moo have their email sign up at the bottom of the screen. It uses a bit more space on the screen. However, it's still less than the entire screen. Compare all of that to what Beyond Meat have. An entire full page interstitial interrupting a user's experience of the page. It's not very welcoming once you've entered the page from Google. This essentially is something that they'll need to update, and they'll need to update it to either a banner. They can continue to use the interstitial if they choose. However, the key thing is to have it less than half of the screen size. It might lead to them having to update their messaging. They will have to use succinct words, i.e. use less text. Now, they will have to update what they have on the site, because it's, as long as they have it, it's interrupting the user's experience of the page, and it's something that can impact the site's ranking ability on mobile devices. Because this is an issue that affects users on mobile devices, it's something that can be easily identified if it becomes a big problem for the site. If they notice their mobile rankings are drastically lower than their desktop rankings for the same set of keywords, then this might be an issue that may very well have affected their rankings, and they'll need to go ahead and carry out an investigation. Now, Google will not inform you if your mobile rankings have been affected by something you're doing on your site or have done on your site, like this intrusive interstitial. What they tend to do instead is provide guidelines, and if you follow them, you get to see good results from organic, When you do not follow them, their guidelines, they tend to rank you less. And in this case, they've been quite open, saying unless this is something that's addressed, and this is something they said way back in 2016/17, unless intrusive interstitials are addressed, sites with them may not rank highly. So this is something Beyond Meat will definitely need to address. And if you have an issue like this, look into it, because it might be something that you also need to address. All right, let's leave it there for now. My name is Austine Esezobor. I'm an SEO consultant. If you have problems with your SEO, feel free to get in touch. I'll be happy to help. Bye for now.